Daily routines and habits.
I usually get up very early at 5 a.m. because I need to exercise before my kids wake up. And after that, I go to work at 7. She drinks a large glass of lemon water every morning in order to wake up her metabolism so that she feels energized throughout the day. He prepares his lunchbox the night before so as not to rush in the morning, which is when he usually loses his keys. I take the bus to the office instead of driving because I want to read my book. And after that, I walk 10 minutes to get some fresh air. We always set the coffee machine on a timer so that the smell of fresh coffee wakes us up at 6:30 a.m., which is when we start our day. She practices meditation for 10 minutes after she gets home in order to clear her mind so that she can focus on her family. He checks his emails only once an hour so as to avoid distractions, which is how he manages to finish his reports so quickly. I go to the gym on my way home from work because if I sit on the sofa first, I will never leave the house again. She leaves her phone in another room at night in order that she shouldn't be tempted to check social media, which is why she sleeps so well. He listens to English podcasts while he is driving to improve his listening skills so that he can eventually work for an international company.
Work and professional life.
I usually arrive at the office 20 minutes early because I like to plan my tasks in silence. And after that, I start my first meeting at 9 o'clock. She uses a standing desk during the afternoon in order to improve her posture so that her back doesn't hurt after a long day. He writes a to-do list every Friday afternoon so as to organize his thoughts in order that he shouldn't worry about work over the weekend. I always keep a spare charger in my bag because my phone battery dies quickly, and I need it to stay connected with my clients. She takes a short walk during her lunch break to get some sunlight, which is how she avoids feeling sleepy in the mid-afternoon. He turned off all his phone notifications so that he could concentrate on the presentation in order to impress his boss. I use 2 monitors at my desk in order to see multiple documents at once, which is how I finish my data entry so efficiently. She attended a networking event last night because she wanted to meet new people, and after that, she sent follow-up emails to stay in touch. He keeps his desk very tidy in order that he might find his documents easily so as not to waste time searching through piles of paper. I applied for this specific role because it offers remote work, and that is what I need to balance my professional and personal life.
Food, cooking, and health.
I usually shop for groceries on Monday morning because the store is quiet then, and after that, I spend the afternoon meal prepping for the week. She adds spinach to her smoothies in order to get more iron so that she feels stronger during her evening runs. He avoids eating sugar during the week so as to maintain his energy levels, which is how he avoids the afternoon crash. I always carry a reusable water bottle because I want to stay hydrated, and it helps me to avoid buying plastic bottles. She cooks extra dinner every night so that she has a healthy lunch for the next day in order to save money. He learned how to bake bread at home in order that his family shouldn't have to eat processed food from the supermarket. I try to eat dinner before 7 p.m. because it helps my digestion, and after that, I usually drink herbal tea to relax. She uses a kitchen timer when she is roasting chicken so as not to overcook it, which is how she keeps the meat juicy and tender. He buys his coffee beans from a local roaster to get the best flavor so that he can enjoy a perfect cup every morning. I use a smaller plate for my meals in order to control my portions, which is how I managed to lose 5 kilos last year.
Travel and going out.
I usually book my vacations in the spring because the weather is mild, and after that, I start saving money to pay for the excursions. She carries a physical map in her backpack in order that she shouldn't get lost if her phone battery dies in the middle of the city. He arrived at the airport 3 hours early so as to avoid the long security lines, which is when most people get stressed. I always pack a light jacket because the air conditioning on planes is cold, and I need it to stay comfortable during the flight. She researched the local customs before her trip so that she might respect the culture in order to have a more authentic experience. He chose a hotel near the train station in order to save time on transportation, which is how he managed to see the whole city in 2 days. I prefer to travel by train because I can see the beautiful landscape, and after that, I usually take a taxi to reach my hotel. She bought a waterproof camera so as to take photos while snorkeling in order that she could show her friends the beautiful coral reefs. He keeps a copy of his passport in his email so that he could access it easily if he ever lost the original document. I use a currency conversion app to check the prices in my own money so as not to spend too much while shopping abroad.
Home and family.
I usually clean the house on Saturday morning because I like to relax on Sunday, and after that, I go to the park with my dog. She installed a smart lock on the front door in order to enter without a key so that she doesn't have to carry a heavy bag. He planted tall trees around the garden so as to create some privacy in order that the neighbors shouldn't see into his living room. I keep my winter clothes in the attic because my closet is too small and I only bring them down when the temperature drops. She reads a story to her children every night so that they can develop a love for books in order to help them with their education. He painted the walls white in order to make the room look bigger, which is how he made his small apartment feel more spacious. I always check the stove twice before I leave the house so as not to worry about a fire while I am at work. She uses a white noise machine in the baby's room so that the child might sleep through the night in order that she gets some rest too. He organized his tools in the garage to find them easily, which is what he needed to finish his DIY project on time. I leave a small light on in the hallway because my daughter is afraid of the dark, and it helps her to feel safe.
Learning and self-improvement.
I usually study for an hour before breakfast because my brain is fresh then, and after that, I start my daily commute at 8 o'clock. She joined a book club in order to meet new people so that she could discuss different perspectives on the stories she reads. He practices his guitar in the basement so as not to disturb his roommates, which is where he keeps all his musical equipment. I write down new words in a small notebook because I want to remember them, and I review them to expand my vocabulary. She hired a personal coach in order to improve her public speaking so that she may feel more confident during her next presentation. He watches news in French every day in order that he shouldn't forget the language which he learned during his time in Paris. I set a goal to read one book a month because I want to learn new things, and I do this to keep my mind active. She uses an app to learn coding so as to gain new skills in order that she might apply for a better paying job next year. He records his own speeches to listen to his pronunciation so that he can identify the areas where he needs to improve. I always ask questions during the seminar because I want to understand everything, and I do this to get the most out of the experience.
Sports, hobbies, and wellness.
I usually go for a run at 6 a.m. because the air is fresh, and after that, I take a cold shower to wake up my body. She wears high-quality running shoes in order to protect her knees so that she can continue training for the marathon. He joined a local football team so as to make new friends in order that he might feel more connected to his new community. I practice meditation every evening because it reduces my stress, and I do it so that I can fall asleep faster. She bought a high-end camera in order to take professional photos, which is how she started her career as a freelancer. He carries a basic first aid kit in his hiking bag so as not to be unprepared if he ever gets a small injury on the trail. I use a foam roller after my workout to stretch my muscles in order that I shouldn't feel stiff the next morning. She sets a timer on her social media apps so as to limit her screen time, which is how she finds more time for her hobbies. He drinks a protein shake after the gym to help his muscles recover so that he stays strong for his next session. I always warm up for 10 minutes because I want to avoid injuries, and after that I start my heavy lifting routine.
Shopping and personal finance.
I usually pay my bills as soon as I get my salary because I don't want to forget, and after that I put some money into my savings. She uses a price comparison app in order to find the best deals so that she can stay within her monthly budget. He buys his clothes at the end of the season so as to get a discount, which is how he manages to wear designer brands. I always check the expiration dates on food because I don't want to waste money, and it helps me to plan my meals better. She keeps her receipts in a small folder in order that she might return items if they don't fit her properly. He invested in a good quality suit in order to look professional so that he could make a good impression at the interview. I use a credit card with cash back because I want to earn money while I spend, and I use the rewards to pay for my flights. She started a no-spend challenge this month so as to save for a new car in order that she may stop using the bus. He avoids going to the mall on weekends to avoid the crowds so that he can shop in peace. I always make a list before I go to the supermarket so as not to buy things I don't need, which is how I save money.
Socializing and miscellaneous.
I usually call my parents on Sunday evenings because they are always home then, and after that, I start preparing for the work week. She brought a gift to the party in order to thank the host so that she could show her appreciation for the invitation. He learned a few magic tricks so as to entertain his nieces and nephews in order that they shouldn't get bored at family dinners. I always wear sunscreen even when it is cloudy because I want to protect my skin, and I do this to prevent wrinkles. She carries an extra umbrella in her car in order that she might help a friend if it suddenly starts to rain. He uses a VPN on his computer to protect his privacy so that hackers cannot see his personal data. I volunteer at the animal shelter on Saturdays because I love dogs, and I do it to give something back to my community. She learned how to change a tire so as not to be helpless if she ever has a breakdown on a lonely road. He keeps a notebook by his bed to write down his ideas so that he doesn't forget them when he wakes up. I always say thank you to the bus driver because I want to be polite, and it is how I try to spread a little kindness. I usually go to bed at 10 p.m. because I need 8 hours of sleep, and after that, I feel refreshed the next morning. She organized her bookshelf by color in order to make it look beautiful so that her office feels more creative. He moved his desk to the window so as to get more natural light in order that he might stay focused for longer. I use a special shampoo because I have sensitive skin, and it helps me to avoid irritation. She always carries a book in her bag so that she has something to do while she is waiting for the train. He bought a new lawnmower to cut the grass faster so as to have more time to relax on the weekend. I take a different route home every day because I like to see new streets, and after that, I usually discover new shops. She keeps a glass of water on her nightstand in order that she should stay hydrated if she wakes up in the middle of the night. He puts a sticker on his luggage to identify it easily so as not to take someone else's bag by mistake. I finished this long list of sentences because I want to help you learn, and I hope you use them to improve your English.